Yo, 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 should be able to hear me now. Sell size has been taken here. Next draw is these two or three lows even, if he wants to keep running lower. Just going to make sure that you guys can hear me. Send a text in the chat if you can hear me. All okay. Sell size has been taken here. Next draw is the... Should be all good. Should be able to hear me. Let me send it into the Discord. Yo, let me know if you can hear me all okay. Um, Let me know what charts you're looking at as well. I'm not sure exactly how far delayed it is, but we can look at all sorts of different charts if you like. Let's take a look at the dollar. Dollar potentially wants to run back into the daily opening gap. There's a buy side here. That's just ran, so be careful, could have a pullback. Wasn't really a weekly opening gap this week. Where is it? It was like a small one over here, so it wasn't really a gap. So if it's small like that, you can either use the previous week, the previous week's weekly opening gap, basically, as this week's. So yeah, we take a look at the higher time frame, Euro USD. Let's see how it plays around in this SIBI here. So if this acts as an inversion fair value gap, then we're going to potentially see a run on buy side. This draw liquidity here first, and then buy side, and then this is a weekly SIBI. BISI, sorry. Oh no, it's SIBI. Should be red. So SIBI there with a high buy side. People who've sold this here is now potentially going to get taken out. But just got to be patient as well. Let me know what you guys what you're looking at as well. It's Friday, so definitely got to be careful. Let me just check. There's news at 2:45, so at 9:45, so about an hour time. There's news, so there should be a little bit more of a liquidity coming into the market. So yeah, take a look at the dollar. Where's dollar going to go? So for me, if dollar ran and took out this high here, that high, I would have thought that dollar was going to run higher, potentially take out this and this equal highs here. But dollar didn't. Dollar pulled into the CB on this weekly here, tapped into it twice, on the daily 1, 2, 3 times before dropping lower. We can see here, it makes a high, a low, a higher high, and then a lower low. So potentially bearish breaker. So keep this candle in mind here. So keep the low of that intact. There's also a volume imbalance as well. Is MMXM your model? What is MMXM? Market maker. If you could just explain what that means. My model is, my entry is fair value gap and a breaker. So I want to see run on highs or lows first, and then get in on a fair value gap, and also in the breaker. So that's my entry. Doesn't happen as much as just normal fair value gaps, but I like to get in on the breaker. I used to get in before, so the advanced ICT breaker, where you're anticipating the breaker to happen. But I prefer getting in on just the normal breaker. So yeah, if this acts as an inversion fair value gap, this would be really nice for dollar to head lower, because as we can see here, price creates a fair value gap, price bounces from it and breaks lower. If it pulls, it makes an inversion fair value gap. So it makes an inversion fair value gap, acts as resistance, breaker, so higher high, lower low. Breaker, that's two things that price could potentially bounce from and to run lower in the higher time frame. So that would take a couple of weeks. So if we're looking for lower dollar, that means higher euro. So lower dollar, higher euro. If this acts as an inversion fair value gap to run higher, then buy side here, and then that's the bit inefficiency in buy side. So I got tapped into a little bit here. So potentially you could always just do it like that. So yeah. So probably just best if we're just going to take read today. So I usually just use 15, 5 and the 1. If we're looking on the 5 minutes, this black line here is the daily CB high. So that's why it's playing around here, consolidating around here. It breaks lower, so here as well. So it makes a low, a higher high, a lower low. Once it makes the lower low with this candle here, with this 720 candle, if you're going on the 1 minute, high, low, high, high, low, low, at the 723. As soon as it makes a new low, this becomes a bearish breaker. So you can either draw from all of that as a bearish breaker, or you can narrow it down to the 1. And as soon as it narrows it down to the 1, look how price starts respecting it here. Respecting it there. And then again, so it makes a low, a high, lower low. This candle here, this candle here is closed lower than this wick candle. So this would be the breaker. So high, low, high, high, lower, low. Draw that across, fair value gap, and the breaker. So that could have been an entry at 748, 747. And then price is running down. Where would your target be? So if we're entering here, look on the 5 minute, sell side there. inefficiency here, inefficiency there, and then sell side down here, depending on how quick it closes below this inefficiency. So if you draw that across, look how price doesn't even respect this inefficiency here. If it does that, then it's just like a strong indication that it's going to go even lower. So close like that, I wouldn't even close any position. I'll just wait for it to run because it's going to run even quicker to the sell side. So yeah, so the entry could have been potentially up there for a run down here. I'll take probably 80% off, 70% off, only because as well, on the higher time frame, you're bullish. So you always want to make sure you're taking profit, taking partials, just in case it reverses on you as well. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you can hear me all good. And yeah, what have you been looking at? What charts you've been looking at as well? So what I like to do to tape read is use the 15-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute. I sort of say like the 15-minute is a weekly time frame, the 5 minute is a daily time frame, and the 1 minute is like hour 15. Sort of just change it in between. So we're looking for, this is like a weekly time frame. It's just taking sell side here, but that doesn't mean exactly to buy it, right? I would say for me to buy it, if we're looking on the daily time frame, which is the 5 minute, price would have to take out this high here. Once it takes out that high, then potentially we want to run these equal highs here. And then once it runs at equal highs, see how it plays with this SIBI, because then it wants to run that high. And then actually on the daily time frame, this would be buy side here, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's look on the 1 minute. So the one, that's an immediate rebalance. So there shouldn't be any imbalance there. So once it taps it to the T, that's an immediate rebalance. That's a very strong indicator that price wants to run up higher. So let's see how it plays again for this SIBI here. So we'll just draw the SIBI on, see if it acts as support or resistance. Hey bro, how you doing, man? Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good week, good month, and I hope you have a lovely Christmas soon. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've gone live. Hopefully I'll do another live next week before the new year, but we'll see how the market is going to play. Definitely don't want to go into the Christmas holidays thinking about the loss they took. You want to enjoy it with your family, and then be back fresh for next year. So yeah, if price respects this 5 minute fair value gap here, next draw liquidity, but we're looking would be this sell side down here. Because if we look, is there any inefficiency? There's no inefficiency here. So it'd just be down the sell side here. There. You can always as well get the consequent encouragement of this wick. So the consequent encouragement of that wick, so the orange line. If you want to take more partials, if you were short from here, that could be another take profit from there. Would be the midpoint of this wick. But yeah, the sell side here now. So let's see how it plays from this SIBI here. So let's look at the 1. the 1 minute time frame. Let me know if you want me to look at a different chart as well, or what charts you're looking at, what pair you're looking at. So there's a little inefficiency between these three candles here. See if I can get out. If that gets left open, then that'd be a breakaway gap, and it would run further down like quickly. Let's look at NAS. Let's do it. So Nasdaq. So let's go on the higher time frame first with Nasdaq. So definitely, it's been bullish for about a month or so, 2 months. Let's even look at the monthly time frame. I'll say I'll be very careful with NAS, just because it's very, I'll say, overbought. But you don't want to sell it, because if it's been like this running up, people are going to try and catch the top, and they're just going to be getting caught out every single time. They're going to think that this is the top here, gets caught out. For me, I'd probably just stick into the lower time frame, so like the 15 and the 5 and the 1 for now. But what's your view on Nasdaq? Black Owl, how you doing, man? Black Owl, how you doing, bro? So what I see for here is literally, I'd mark this out here, this civvy, get the consequent encouragement of it. Price is respecting this here so far. Buy side up here. There's also buy side here. That hasn't been taken yet. People potentially think this is a resistance here, so it's dropped lower. Took out sell side there, so this could potentially be 830, drop lower, takes sell side liquidity. Could be manipulation for them to run higher. Do you guys know whether I'm in the right contract? Let me just get out. Yeah, it's December, I guess. So I don't want to use. That might be better. It might be the March contract now. What do you guys think? Could we start using the March contract, which has the symbol H on it? So yeah, perfect, man. I'm pretty sure it's the March contract. I haven't looked at NAS or the S&P for a while. Yeah, bro, blackout. Ask questions. Ask as many questions as you like, and I'd hopefully be able to answer them as much as possible. Yeah, so let's look at NAS now again. But yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'd have this inefficiency here, and then find the consequent encouragement. Just keep that in mind. Price at 830 has dropped lower to take out this sell side. So people have been buying this up as well. Probably moved their stops here. And people who think this is resistance has just sold it down. So buyers have been taken out, sellers have been in. So potentially now, drop lower, pulls back, inefficiency here. is what I see. So potentially run to take out people who've just sold this down here. Yeah, man, ask away, ask as many questions. Just going to delete this to make the charts just clear. But yeah, I'll draw form here as well. Go on the one. Price has respected it. Breaking above, sorry. It's acting as a inversion for a value gap. Do you use IPDAs and quarterly shifts? I can't understand it. I mean, quarterly shifts, so I haven't looked in it as much, or I don't know it as much, but I mean, I did have it written down because ICT was speaking about it. Let me see if I can find it in my notes quickly. It's always, let's have a look. It's like in the period of like November, December, or like the last quarter, there's always like a run on foreign currencies. So the dollar will pull back. Not all the time. SAMT is important. Do you mean SMT? SMT is important? Is that what you mean, bro? SMT is good. Again, that's another thing that I don't properly or haven't really got the hold of. Not like I got the hold of like inverted fair value gaps, fair value gaps. I just couldn't really get the hang of SMT. I know about SMT, and I can try and explain it to you. SMT can be important. I mean, again, you don't need to have SMT. It's in your trading. All you need is like a fair value gap. That's just to keep it the most simple. But someone else could love SMTs and use that in their trading. But for me, I don't use SMTs as much. So let's see how it acts to this here. And let's look at the 5. So if we look at the 5 minute here, there's not really any inefficiency apart from this to go across. So the next draw, or the draw liquidity would be this high here. That's if it wants to run the highs. So that'd be the next draw. So these equal highs here. I like how it's respected the consequent encouragement so far. Yeah, what Blackout, what stuff do you like? Do you like fair value gaps? Do you like breaker blocks, order blocks? What sort of things that stick out to your mind? As soon as you look at a chart, what do you first look at? For me, it'd be inefficiencies, like the fair value gap. So as soon as I see it, I see this here. So we have to be careful with this here. So first thing I see is inefficiencies, and then just equal highs as well. By the way, this is not financial advice or anything like that. I don't want you taking trades or anything like that. I know you guys probably won't. But yeah, just saying. So we're looking at the 5 minute version as last defense. This here, I would say last line of defense would be, if we're looking at it, I'd say it'd be this order block here now. So there's an order block here. Price taps into it here. So there's an order block on top of another order block. So this candle here is a propulsion block. And if the mean threshold of the propulsion block gets closed, so this orange line, then it's a strong sign of a reversal. So that would be my last line of defense. So I'll probably put my stops just below here. Yeah. Do you mark up market stretches or are you trading without? I don't mark up market stretches. I'm trading without them. So yeah, it is struggling with this little inefficiency here so far. I like it. I would like to see it close above the midpoint of it. Yeah, I mean propulsion blocks. It's quite a strong indicator once you get the hang of it. So it is very clever. It's saved me a lot of times when I've seen it close below the propulsion block. I've closed my trade, and then it does pull back up. I'm like, oh, why did I close the trade? But and then it does end up like reversing. So I'm like, okay, um, yeah. Just take a look at DXY quickly. So with the dollar again, if it wants to run up to the daily opening gap, then that's not good for NAS to run higher. But it has ran just this little buy side, this high, so potentially wants to pull back lower. It's trading inside this inefficiency now. So when you're trading the futures, I'm gonna have to. When you're trading futures, you've got to make sure that the dollar is running the exact same, the opposite as. What was it? I need to add this to my watch list. Hopefully that's the one. The right one should be. But yeah, let's see how the propulsion block, if it does get down to the propulsion block. But yeah, you always want to make sure that the dollar is running the opposite way, and then it'd be a low resistance liquidity trade, which is just nice and smooth. You're not seeing choppiness. So just going to delete this there and delete that just to make it neater. Because I always like to keep my charts quite neat. So it is struggling at the moment to get past here. But if we are looking at the 5 minutes, there is now this inefficiency here. So don't be like scared if it does want to pull back down here. What's the first thing I do with a fresh chart? So I have two. So I'd have two different like charts here. I would go on the weekly time frame first, and then I go down to the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, 15, 5, and then 1. So let's just say it is a fresh chart of USD. It's just this one here. So I'll start with the weekly. So it'd be like this, and then I'll look straight away for inefficiencies. So I see this first. Okay, so price has reacted nicely off this inefficiency here. There's buy side here. There's buy side there. Also, order block there. Doesn't quite tap to the body, but it does tap into the wick. And then I'd see this here. Potentially if it wants to run back up, and then there's a little bit buy side there. And then I go down to the daily. There's inefficiency here. And then that'd be pretty much it for the daily. I would keep an eye on this as well. So keep an eye on that candle. And then go down to 4 hour. Where's 4 hour going to tap into? So this is the daily low of the SIBI. And there is also a BISI here. So price potentially could bounce from here now. Let's have a look at the 1 hour. So 1 hour, the sell side that's been taken there. There's also an order block here. Again, hasn't tapped to the body, but it has tapped into the high or the wick. And then I'd have my other chart. So usually I'll just have like the weekly daily and mark it up. And then I would go in. What I would keep would be this low here. So this inefficiency I would keep definitely on my lower time frame chart. So delete that. And then once it's on the lower time frame chart, so like 15 minutes, I'd know that price reacts really nicely on the lower time frame, on the higher time frame analysis, if that makes sense. So on the higher time frame PD arrays. So then here, sell side's been taken there. So it's gone to 5 minutes. There's no setup yet. But yeah, that's how I would do it. I'd mix in the higher time frame PD arrays and then have it in the lower, or my lower time frames. So this is the daily SIBI, and if this acts as support, then it'd be a big indicator that price is going to bounce from here. But for me to want to go long here, I would say it has to take out this high here, because if price wants to just pull back, it could literally just be pulling back into this inefficiency here. So people who bind this already too soon could then get taken out. So I'll just have to be really patient. Once it takes out this high here, then I'll be more confident in, okay, price wants to take out these highs and then run into this inefficiency here. I'll then also make sure you always have the quadrants on. So look how price is bouncing from these. This is the 75% quadrant or 25%, which one, whatever it is. So it bounces on there, breaks lower, retests nicely into a fair value gap and to the T of the quadrant, and then runs lower. Even on the 1 minute, look how to the T, them two candles here, it reacts off it really nicely. Bounces off there, pulls up, drops lower. So definitely have the quadrants on the higher time frames. That's a game changer for me. So PD arrays, higher time frame, mix it in with the lower time frames, and then because what mistake I was doing is I was seeing random setups. I was seeing the setup pattern, but it's just in a random location, and I'll be like, why is it just taking me out? That's because you're not getting in the right area. So these are the areas you want to be getting in. Look how it reacts there as well. Pulls lower, breaks up, retests the midpoint really nicely. So again, high, low, high, high. So this is a setup that I would like. So it makes a lower low, then a higher high. So this here becomes a breaker. Fair value gap inside this breaker and to the midpoint. So that's what I like to see. That's literally one of my setups I like to see. Stops just below there. Target, I would probably target that there. Again, you haven't been fully taken yet, but that's like some things that I'd like to see. Let's have a look at Nasdaq. Then Nasdaq just taking out that buy side. As soon as it closes above the fair value gap here, retests it, becomes an inverted fair value gap. Retest it once more, higher. So again, like I said, people here from this drop lower thought this was resistance. Drops lower, takes out this sell side here. Okay. People thought this, when it runs higher, was support. So they would have moved their stops. When you're buying from down here, where would you move your stops? Well, you start moving your stops from there, then you'd move them there, then you move them there. Price ran lower, took people's stops out, caught people who are selling here. People were happy, thinking, oh, they're on the right side of the market, and then they just get taken out. So people who moved stops lost, people who sold lost. That's what the market does. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Again, like I said, on the 5-minute time frame, when price was trading around here, there was no inefficiency or anything like that. The only thing that I see was just draw liquidity here, buy side. So that's what price wants to run to. You don't want to overcomplicate it. So now, price keeps going up. Has that been taken yet? No. So that'd be that high, and then this inefficiency here. If it wants to keep going. So with this inefficiency here, price likes to have like a high there. It would take that high and then would like to reach into that. That's what price likes to do. Blackout. Hopefully that made. Did that make any sense for me starting with a fresh chart? Hopefully it answered your questions. If not, I can go through it again. Okay, bro. Nice. So yeah, start with the weekly, go down to the daily, the 4 hour, 1 hour 15. So and then also as well, keep in mind of wicks, weekly, daily wicks, and daily wicks. Sorry, so weekly wicks and daily wicks. You want to get the midpoints of them because price loves to react from that on a lower time frame as well. You sometimes on the dollar really nicely. Don't know if I've got an example. Have a look. Don't know if I've got an example, but if I did find one, it is it does react really nicely. So yeah, midpoints of wicks on the high time frame. Add that into your lower time frame chart and see how it reacts really nicely. So as I was saying with the dollar on the high time frame, so here if price took this out, then I'll be bullish on dollar. So with this run here, I did the worst thing to do is try and catch the bottom or the tops of higher time frames. You can do it a little bit more easily on lower time frame charts, but just try not to catch the bottom or top of higher time frames. So here, once it bounced from here, I didn't think that was the top, the bottom. Sorry. So I wasn't bullish on dollar here. If price took out that, I'd be more inclined for price to one of them run these highs. But other than that, I wasn't bullish. It made a higher high here, made a higher high. It's now made a lower low. So that indicates it's a bearish breaker. So this candle here, let's actually make it to the T. So here's a bearish breaker, and then inside that is a fair value gap, bounce from it, pulled lower. So if that makes an inversion fair value gap and a bearish breaker, that'd be nice for price to want to then trade lower down to these sell side, sorry, and inefficiency sell side here. So people who bought this back up are then going to get taken out. If that makes sense. But that run would take potentially like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So yeah, or relatively equal lows from these lows here. Yeah, definitely for sell side. So there's a little bit of inefficiency here that hasn't been tapped into. So here and there. So this is inefficient, and there's sell side. So just keep an eye on that. Price potentially wants to get what is the word? Drawn to that. So yeah, I wouldn't like to see now price be trading above this. So if we're looking like that, that's institutional order flow entry deal. Institutional order flow entry deal. So we're thinking like on the lower time frames, just taps into it and wants to run lower. If it just taps into like that, it tells me that price is really bearish. So then price would want to easily run this low. So we're thinking on the lower time frame. Say this is like the 5 minute. If I see that and price starts trending lower, I'll be confident that price wants to run that. So if it's complicated, if S&T is complicated for you, bro, then either just study it even more or just simply just take it out of your arsenal. You know, you don't need to have that. Just use what you find comfortable with, and just tunnel vision on that. Just keep going on with that. You know what I mean? ICT does say he can teach a setup every single day, and people still won't be like, what's the words? Like comfortable, or they'll keep asking for more. You just have to stick to one strategy and just stick to it, and then you'll learn so much more about that strategy. So let's go on the lower time frames again. Let's see what's happening. So look how price reacted to taking that buy side here. Absolutely dropped there. There's a 5 minute BISI where price is bouncing. It's nearly 9:30 open, so you want to be careful. 9:30 to 10 a.m. ICT calls it the amateur hours. It's where people immediately, as soon as the market opens, people are buying and selling. Just wait for it to just chill out a little bit. There's a lot of manipulation between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Also at 9:45, there is news. I think it is PMI. Yeah, PMI. So that could be some volatility. Going on. Let me know if you're looking at anything else as well. Let me know if you're looking at anything else, any different, or if you're in any trades or anything like that. So for me to be bearish on dollar again, I would say probably I would have to see that low get taken. That low taken here. There's the daily opening gap here that I haven't even drawn on. So it'd be the close to the open. Close the open. Get the midpoint of that. There we go. So yeah, look how price plays around the midpoint of the daily opening gap there. Look how it respects the 75% or the 25 as well. Look at that there. Consolidates there. Consolidates. Reacts nicely. So I'm also asking before the institution entry yields. Can you explain with diagram? Institutional entry yields. So institutional entry yield. Can't even say the bloody word. So it's literally where price only taps the high or low of the fair value gap. Let me see if I can. So here. So here, price actually comes in, taps it, runs off. So that's literally smart money buying that quickly and then running. If price, like this one here, plays inside of it like this, and it's not as bullish as you think. So price is closed below the consequent encouragement. So you can see it goes lower, closes below the 75%, and wants to go lower. This one here doesn't even get to the 25%, nowhere near the consequent encouragement. So this is just an indicator that it wants to run higher. So that's institutional order flow entry drill. You have to be really quick on the 1 minute time frame, because obviously it just taps it in a second and you're on. So sometimes it happens. If my entry is on the 1 minute, I literally got to be so quick. Sometimes I do miss trades doing that. That's why I've sort of moved to 5 minutes, the 5 minute time frame. I think the dollar might run lower. Yeah. Don't forget it's Friday. But yeah, we'll see. There's that high on euro, so yeah, dollar could run lower. But yeah, there's a buy side been taken there, pulls lower. There is buy side here, and the daily opening gap hasn't been filled yet. So potentially that's could be the draw. In 15 minutes, the news will come out. Very aggressive movement from Nasdaq straight away. What is entry duals concept? I mean, there's different types of entry duals. An entry dual is things you see in the market in order for you to get in. So for me, if I can draw, it'd be like I have to see that. So low, so lower low, high high, has to be a fair value gap, and it has to be a breaker for me to then want to get in here to go long. If I don't see that, then even if I think it's going long, I can't get in. Another one could be a fair value gap, or it could be an order block. Let me know if that makes sense. So yeah, 9:30. Just be careful. You can also change it to regular trading hours. So this is when the market closes to the open. Let me actually just go on the 1 minute. Here. So close, open. So here, so it's gapped up. Markets usually, or the gap could be as a draw liquidity. There's definitely a lot of liquidity down here. So you do have to be careful if you're trying to go long here. So by how I did that was literally down here, it's RTH, regular trading hours. Usually I'd just use electronic trading hours, which then it shows like even when the market is closed, what price is doing here. But yeah, so this is the gap here, this box. Blackout, did that make sense, by the way? About the entry dual concepts. There are different types of entry duals. There's one which is called the silver bullet, which is between a certain time frame, or time, sorry, certain time in the day. So there's multiple. There's like 10 a.m. New York time to 11 a.m. There'll be a fair value gap. There'll always be a run on liquidity. Not always that pair, but there will always be a run on a pair on liquidity. You can just use a fair value gap for your entry. There could be the breaker, the order block to get in. It's literally just your preference. Nice. I'm happy that I helped understand or helped you understand. So yeah, definitely be aware there's news in 10 minutes. So I want to see how that reacts. Do you always look at S&P and NAS to know which is more bullish, bearish? Yeah, sometimes I do. I don't trade NAS and the S&P. I trade the euro. But yeah, you can do. You can. So this here, I see S&P is more bearish. If we go on to this one here, Nasdaq. Sorry, 1 minute. So yeah, S&P is bearish at the minute, and Nasdaq is pulling up. So you want to make sure they're running the same. So you don't want to get in anything like this at the minute. But there's again, I need to get better at S&P, but made a lower low here, and I made a higher low here. Is that S&P divergence? S&T, sorry. I don't really trade that, or I can really understand it really. That's why I don't really use it, but let me know if that is S&T divergence. And then we take a look at DXY. DXY has made a higher low here. Is that it? Or is it DXY has made a lower high? So lower low, higher low. I'm sure if I just studied it more, I would understand it. But yeah, where's Nasdaq? If that makes sense, let me know. Or if I mean, if you can help, let me know. GU analysis, course, kiosk. We're at GU, so let's go on the weekly first. Delete this. So immediately I see, like EU, that Missy. So you want to think, where would price want to go to next? So where does price want to go to next? There's not any inefficiencies on the daily, on the weekly, sorry. There's that buy side here, so that's high. Price has already taken that. Oh, it hasn't actually. So there's a high there, so that could be the draw liquidity. But for me, the next thing would be this here. That'd be it. If you don't see any inefficiencies or any highs, then you want to look next is wicks. So potentially this wick here, the consequent occurrence from that could be a draw liquidity as well. So let's go down to the daily. So there's inefficiency here and here. Sorry, equal highs. And then just above that is an inefficiency here, which hasn't been fully filled yet. So that would be my draw on liquidity. And I'd say, for me to be bearish, that low would have to be taken here, for me. If it takes this low, doesn't matter too much. But if it takes that low, then I'd say we're going to take that low and potentially that low and these lows here. Yeah, so that's my analysis for GU. And it lines up with dollar because dollar, I'm bearish on dollar. So it should be bullish on GU. So yeah, if that makes sense. Let's go into the lower time frames. So yeah, 5 more minutes till the news, PMI. There usually is quite a big move for it, so definitely be careful. Yeah, bro. I'm glad you're learning a lot. Yeah, see, the consequent encouragement wicks is key. Just like consequent encouragement of fair value gaps, wicks, mean threshold of order blocks is just so key. Just always just try and remember them, especially on the higher time frame. You want to look for the three quadrants, so the 25, the 75, and the midpoint. A mini Nasdaq. Yeah, we're looking at the Nas now. So it ran these highs here. Just ran. Did it run that low? I think it didn't leave. Left that low intact and then ran this high again. So it's definitely being very aggressive. It's on the 15. Has it tapped into this yet? Has tapped into that now. And also ran that high, like I said. Yeah, let's see what it does in 5 minutes' time. What's your view, Chaz, on the Nasdaq? Let's see, dollar. Just find the midpoint of this. You could always, as well, if you just go onto the style middle line, so you can get the midpoint. So if dollar's going to run lower, then NAS will run higher, or should run higher. Let's see. Still equal highs here as well. So a lot of buy side. Anyone else looking at anything? Um, take a look at euro. So if dollar lower, euro should be higher. Yeah, nice, Chaz. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how news is what news is going to do. 2 minutes time. Has it taken out this low yet? Yeah. So this all could be manipulation, but we shall see. Equal highs here. That looks nice to get taken out. It looks too neat. Fair value gaps, yeah, it can be used as support and resistance. Um, yeah, I like to see it as support and resistance. I like to see it as if price wants to run lower, as long as price is respecting the SIBIs, then I'm more confident for price to want to keep going lower, if that makes sense. So 20 seconds time, let's see. So for me, if it wants to run even higher, buy side there, and then if it wants to go lower, sell side down there. So let's see what price wants to do. It's down to 15. Let's take a look at the dollar. Nothing too much just yet. What time frame? Ice Edge. Is that how you say your name as well, Ice Edge? Hopefully I got it right. But yeah, what time frame on EU for the CE of the wick? I think if I was the market, I'd probably take people out here, catch people in shorts, and then run them higher to then take them out here. Um, that's what I'd probably do. So people who wanted to catch the short here, taken out. People who think going to catch the shorts now, take them out, but before take the people who bought this first. That's what I would do. Yeah, I only trade the New York session. Um, yeah, if that was your question. Yeah, New York session I only trade. Again, don't forget, guys, it is Friday, and it's also midway through December. So December is known as quite choppy. So either lower the risk or just take read like I'm doing. So here, let's have a look here. So if you look on the 5, buy side here has been taken, and it's ran into this inefficiency here on the 15. On the 1 minute time frame, taken out high, market structure shift, fair value gap. So that's the 2022 model. Here. But you have to just make sure that you're on the right side of the market for it to for you to be right. So on the higher time frame though, I am bullish on Nasdaq, so I wouldn't be taking this, but it can still work out. I mean, there's a setup there, but it's going the opposite way of my bias. So if I was trading my account, that'd be breaking one of my rules if I entered there. But let's just take read and see how if price wants to get down to these equal lows. So I like the fact that price hasn't closed anywhere near the consequent encouragement. It's just left a wick. Remember, wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. So let's see if it wants to run out these lows. People who bought this up too early. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar just going sideways at the moment. Euro sideways. For me to be long on euro, what did I say? Take out these highs here. For me to want to be long on euro still. So let's take a look at this wick here. This wick, I don't really want to see price close above this wick now. Let's have a look at S&P. Yeah, it made a higher low, a lower high, sorry. Is that 1 minute? 1 minute. I mean, that's made a higher low. Has it made a lower low yet? No, it hasn't. So that'd have to make a lower low and a higher low for the S&T. Yeah, C is 50%. Chaz, is that what you got for your S&T, or have you got something different? I'm not the best at S&T, so let me know what your view is on the S&T. Where is Nasdaq again? So again, has it closed above the CE of the wick? So I'll still would be okay. It's all right so far. Yeah, C. I'm not sure if I said, but C is the 50%. So the 50% level on the fib. Let's take a look at the dollar. Little bit of a volume imbalance. Look on the 1, supporting that, but It's just mostly going sideways. S&T one, if you do it right, is very powerful. Um, but it's something that I just haven't really clicked with. But again, some people love the S&T, and it can be really good. So closed above the consequent encouragement of the wick of this wick. So I'll be less confident in it running lower now, just because it's going to be a high resistance liquidity trade if it does go lower. Those are the things you want to be looking out for. If you're short here, you want to be making sure that price does respect this, and if it respects it and goes lower, then you know that you're in the right trade, and then it'll just run for that liquidity. But if it's showing you signs that it doesn't want to go there, either cut the trade immediately or cut it down half. Because most of the times you'll get taken out anyway. So it wants to run higher. There's that buy side here. It'll be the buy side. $9.25 minute candle. What, for an order block, are you saying? $9.25 minute candle. Are you saying that's an order block or? Even if I was short here, as soon as price closes above the fair value up here, I would just know that it's not going to be a nice. It's going to be a nice trade anyway. S&T. Also like this, and then ES. I'll get them both off actually. Like that. And then you have to get one with dollar as well. 920 candle. So a higher low. Where's a higher high and a lower high. So yeah, that is S&T. Because that's bearish, bullish, and that's bullish. Switch comparisons is more easy. Not sure what that means. So if I'm looking here for Nasdaq, if it's made a lower low here, if it does run and make a higher high, then this candle here would be a bullish breaker. At the minute, it's choppy. Wait till 10 o'clock, see what happens. And see if there's a silver bullet. I might keep going for about half an hour more or so. Just make sure my laptop is. Yeah, it's got some charge. What else are you guys looking at? Anything else? What pairs do you trade? Blackout, what pair do you trade? Do you play trade GU, EU, Nasdaq? Yeah, it's really choppy. That's probably one. It's Friday, December. Like you only want to be trading when it's high probability. So there's no point of spending that mental capital. Let's see, with Euro, I would only get in Euro if price is trading above here. Then I'll be happy for it to run these equal highs, get into this inefficiency and that highs. But it's not doing anything else. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in, man. Nice, GU. Yeah, GU is nice pair. GU is nice. Always watch EU as well. When will you be live trading again? Probably the start of New Year. I'll be back trading my account. I used to look at oil, bro. I used to trade oil. Haven't looked at it for a while. Um, let's have a look. Immediately again, straight away. I see that. Let's have a look low. That didn't make that high. Let's go on the weekly. A lot of liquidity down here. I'll be bearish on oil. I was probably saying until, because these are equal highs, I'll say until it takes out, if it takes out this, then my stance will change and we'd see a higher oil. But yeah, price could potentially want to tap into this if it wants to run higher, retrace. Monday live, maybe live on Monday. If you guys want to tune in, yeah, I'll go live. We just chill, take read again. Look how price is reacting around that area, and now reacting around this area. These are the quadrants here. Sell side down here. 10.02. What pair? There's one on Euro. I'll show you. It was when it was FOMC. Here, I think it's here. I was on the 15. Low, high, low, low. Maybe the 15 here. So there's manipulation here. This is the breaker. Draw that across. As soon as price makes a new high here. So as soon as price with this candle takes out the high, then this becomes a bullish breaker, sorry. And look how price is reacting inside the breaker. And then let's go on the 1 minute. And then where was it? Here. So it makes a lower low, higher high. So it makes a lower low, higher high. As soon as it makes the high, this candle here, the candle that pushed lower. So this candle here, as soon as it makes the high, this becomes a bullish breaker. Check the midpoint of the bullish breaker. 1, 2, 3 candles. Doesn't even close below it. And then the FOMC takes off. So it's just crazy to know like the algorithm, how it respects it. Ice Edge, what do you mean about 10.02? Potentially, people trying to sell this are going to get trapped in it now. So the markets probably want to take them out. Silver bullet 10.02. What pair? What pair, bro? Just see if this makes a new high here. So it's made a lower low. Has he made a lower low? Where is it? Yeah, lower low here from here. Lower low, higher high. Then this candle will become a bullish breaker. And then if there's a fair value gap inside the bullish breaker and inside that fair value gap, that could be like a potential setup to want to run and take out this high. Yeah, what pair, bro? Ice Edge for silver bullet. You might be in a trade, so I'll let you concentrate if you are as well. Usually with manipulation, if it runs lower or if it takes stops, then it won't take stops a second time. So you want to see the run and stops, then you should be confident in putting your stop loss there. And if it does take you out, then you're on the wrong side of the market. But the market won't want to take stops twice because smart money would be buying them stops, and they won't get taken out. I think potentially now, people selling this, they're going to get trapped, but I would have preferred a bigger push down lower for them to get trapped in for the price to want to run up higher. We'll see. It's definitely been a choppy day. Take a look at Bitcoin. I haven't looked at Bitcoin for a while. Nearly hit 45k, that's mad. Look at the monthly. Are you guys into crypto or anything like that? I don't really play around with crypto much. I see this here. Even though ICT does say it's going to go down to 0 or 3k, um, it could do. It'd be mad if we actually do see Bitcoin down to 3k. So NQ. So if it makes this high, then this will become a breaker. If it takes out this high here. Uh, yeah, if you see price like this, really, best bet to do is mostly just close your charts because you don't want to get caught up in this choppiness. So there's left equal highs here. Yeah, I don't really look at much crypto. I've got a few mates who are into crypto, but it's something that I'm not really into. Nice, yeah, same with me. Mostly, I'm literally just mostly EU, but I do look at Nasdaq and S&P. Is it not ESH? Oh. So definitely with this is S&T. You don't want to be involved in this at all. I don't think I can make free. Might have to upgrade it. So buy side here. I'd say for me to be wanting to look for a buy side, I'd say this high would have to get taken, and then I'd like to see that run on buy side. But yeah, definitely Nasdaq is leading the highs. Will S&P catch up potentially? That S&T failed. Uh, yeah, again, I don't really know too much about the S&T. I mean, S&T is just like an indicator, like an indication, like a shift in market where then you can look for like the fair value gap or something. Run on stops potentially. Yeah. I'd be interested in what silver bullet ice edge is looking at. Yeah, nice, bro. It's good to just stick with one pair. So you can just literally learn every single thing about it. But it's also always good to look at other pairs to see how they're moving as well. So here, makes a low low, then a high high. So this candle here is a breaker. Let's see how it reacts. So I'd look at this candle here actually, because it closed higher than this candle. So this candle here, that actually closed higher than it. So potentially I'll call this as a breaker instead of that candle. So this candles here could be the breaker instead of just this singular candle, if that makes sense. The gap. And then breaker. Let's see how it reacts. Make it darker. See how it reacts if it wants to run the buy side. That'd be me for like a silver bullet, I'd say. Stops probably would be below this consequent encouragement. Somewhere down there. And I'd like to see that run on higher. What do you guys think about it? Is it going to run the buy side? I think if it fails to run this buy side here, just be playing around, but I think this could be the run now. I think people got caught selling here, and then people potentially could have moved their stops early who bought from this, got taken out, and now this is the run higher. Going to take people out who moved their stops or sold. Potentially, that's what I think. Take a look at the E-mini, S&P. So don't see anything yet. There's no inefficiencies or anything like that. The price just painting. That's what it does. This is what you should be doing. This should be the boring bit. Just watching price. I'll take a look at the consequent encouragement of this wick here, and I wouldn't really want to see price close below that. that would mean it's really bullish, and it would just run potentially even further than you think. And let's just see again this candle wick here. Let's see how if price respects this one. Now the entry drill, I'd say the entry was down here. This fair value gap here, in my opinion, inside the bullish breaker and a silver bullet fair value gap. Take partials at 15-minute consequent encouragement. Yeah, potentially as well. Why is that? Should be there. Yeah, that's if it's depending on how long it takes to get up to here, and if it closes above that. If it closes above that quite quickly, then it would want to run there. And again, if it closes above that quite quickly, then it would run there. But if it leaves like a wick, then I probably would take partials. Yeah, nice, Chaz, nice. Yeah, once you take partials, that's when you want to move your stops. You don't move your stops before you've taken partials. So I like how it's respected the consequent encouragement so far of the wick. So that's actually on the 15. 67 flat. There we go. So that's the consequent encouragement here. Let's take a look at the dollar. So dollar's going higher, which is not really what we want to see. If dollar was trading lower, then it would help push Nasdaq. So that's potentially why the choppiness. So you want to know when it's going to be a choppy situation, and when it's going to be a smooth, like cutting butter with a hot knife. It just melts through, just glides through. Those are the trades that I love to be in. You're in and out so quickly. Like I would have liked to see, as soon as it makes the higher high, it tap into it, and then in 4 candles, it's already ran and taken. That's when you know you're on the right side of the market. It's a low resistance liquidity run, and it's a high probability. But these ones here, these are if you're trying to get into these trades on a Friday, mid-December, this one it could be really draining. Um, it just spends your mental capital as well. That's really important. So, yeah. Just take a look at that 30, take a look at the hour. Yeah, there's nothing else really. No inefficiency, so it just comes to the wicks. So if it does close below this wick here, it doesn't mean for me to close the trade, or if I was in the trade, it doesn't mean for me to close it. It just means that it's not going to be as bullish as a run than I think. And again, same thing with this. So with the fair value gap, consequent encouragement, I liked how it just wicked into that and then it pulled away. Okay, with this on here, look at the way it closed below it. Potentially wants to just tap back into this, the breaker. We'll see. Take take a look at the midpoint of the consequent encouragement, sorry. Consequent encouragement of the wick. And let's take a look at dollar. Is dollar running up? How did I improve my psychology? I read the Trading in the Zone. That was good. I listened a lot to ICT. Um, a lot of time just watching the market, trading the market. Um, what else? Literally, yeah, just thinking as well. Like, as long as you got the setup, like your setup going, as long as you stick to your plan, to your trading rules, and you stick to the exact risk you're using, and you have that edge, you will come out on top. As long as you stick to your trading rules. If you're failing and you've got like a good setup, that means you're not sticking to your rules or you're over risking at certain points. That's literally it. In Training the Zone, I read there's a bit about if a kid who's quite young has never seen a dog before and goes to stroke it and the dog bites the kid, immediately the kid is gonna think that every single dog is bad. So even if the kid next like sees a dog the next time and the dog is the most friendliest dog in the world, it would always think that the dog is going to bite him. So it's similar with your trading. If you lose a trade, you're always going to think that your next trade setup is going to be a loser when it's completely different. This it could be like the best trade ever. So as long as you stick to your setup and you take like the trades, then it doesn't really like if you lose, then you lose. You know what I mean? It's just a loss. The next one you just close it to your winner. So if you lose, then it's a probability game, and if you lose, it just means that you're closer to your next winner. Hopefully that helped, bro. But yeah, Trading Zone is a decent book, just for psychology. Um, there's also another one. It's called The Chimp Paradox. It's a good book. It's all about three parts of the brain: the human, the computer, and the chimp. It's a really interesting read. So Price just want to tap back into the fair value gap here. Respected the consequent encouragement of the wick, which is nice. So let's see it run now. I would like to see this get left open, and if it does get left open, then it would want to run for that buy side. Yeah, nice, bro. I mean, a good thing I was doing as well is like if you get a coin and if you flip it 10 times, just say your tails equals +3 or +2 and heads equals -1. Flip it 10 times and see what the result. I guarantee you'll be positive. As long as you stick to your risk. As long as every trade winner, you're getting like 2% back, or you're getting a two back. How much you risk? Two times your back. Or as long as your um, win rate is higher as well, you can have a 1-to-1. You know, like if we got it here in there and stops us down here, I'm sure it'd be like 1-to-1 by now. You know, I'm gonna delete that now. So it's nearly at the consequent encouragement. I would take profits here, um, some sort of profits, only because it is very choppy and it's Friday. So yeah, consequent encouragement has been hit. Let's see how it reacts. Another indication is how quick did it take from the run here to get to there. So the consequent quite long in it. So if we just saw like one candle, two candles, and it closed above it, then I'll be more confident for it to run higher. But it just took a little bit longer. So you definitely want to make sure you take profits because it could just retrace back. Take a look at dollar. Dollar is just going sideways as well still. So it's not nice. Hence why it's just choppy going up. May want to come back down to this inefficiency here now. So let's see a little bit of a bullish breaker. So I made low, high, low, low, and then high, high. So this candle here would be the breaker because it closed a bit above higher. And then inside the breaker is the fair value gap. So if it was really nice and smooth and dollar was running lower, this could potentially be a pyramid to tap into it for it to run higher. Let's see, I want to see how it reacts to this fair value gap and the breaker. I'll give it probably 5-10 more minutes and then I'm going to end the stream, guys. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in and chatting and stuff like that. I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it as well. And hopefully we'll do more as well. Definitely more next year once the market starts picking up and stuff. We could start doing like paper trades and stuff like that together and see if we can take like a potentially do like what's it called, the FTMO account, like a free trial. See if we can trade that together and pass that or something like that. This is another entry drill. Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be a pyramid, which is like you're adding into your position. Because don't forget as well, if we're looking on the 1 minute time frame, from this run here to the high, you want to make sure that you're trading inside a discount. So from that run to there, your liquidity, anything below hitting this pink box, you want to be buying. So yeah, that is in a discount. So yeah, you could pyramid that. Anywhere above here, you don't want a pyramid. But look how price does come back into the equilibrium here before pushing up higher. No worries, Chaz, man. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I said the silver bullet. I hope that worked out for you, bro. But yeah, look how it is respecting the consequent acknowledgement here, and it's just pulling down lower. So that's why you always want to just make sure you take partials. Yeah, so always enter in a discount, buy in a discount, sorry, sell in a premium. Those are the definitely key things. Nice, Chaz, man. Yeah, I mean, I've streamed a few times. But yeah, I love when you guys engage and stuff like that, chat, and yeah, take read, and yeah. I mean, if I call out a trade and it's wrong, I sometimes get it wrong anyway. Um, but this one was a decently nice trade. Again, it was sloppy price action, sideways for the dollar, hence why it's choppiness. You have to just know if dollar's going sideways, you just want to. I would close the charts. There's no point of trying to trade that. But we did manage to find a trade setup. Yeah, that was my setup anyway. A breaker on a fair value gap, and then that's how I trade. But yeah, I hope you guys like the stream. Chaz, if you want to join the Discord, I'll send it in, and then you'd know when I'm live. I'll send it in here. There's a Discord. If you want to join that, then you'd know when I'm live. I sometimes send like analysis as well on high time frames, but definitely will be sending more into the new year because I don't want to encourage people to trade during this time and potentially have higher odds of losing. So yeah, that's why I've been a little bit quiet on YouTube as well, because there's literally just not been any nice setups. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the stream. I'd say if price probably takes this low here now, or no, I'll say if price takes this low here, then I'll be out of the market. I'll just close the charts. So if you mark that on here, even that low, but I'll just say that low, then I'll just be that high there would just potentially not want to taken out if it does end up taking that low. But yeah, the draw liquidity for me is that high. Let's just see if it takes it out. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I've loved it as well, and hopefully I'll be back potentially next week. I'll let you know in the Discord. But yeah, have a nice weekend. And if I don't speak to you before Christmas, I hope you all have a lovely Christmas and enjoy it with your families. And yeah, have a great new year if I don't speak to you. And yeah, be safe, okay, guys? Take care.